Hi guys, we're gonna have a get into your feelings day. If you don't know me, my name is London, like the city, and I am an artist. So I want to talk about feelings, but I also want to talk about duality and why I make the art that I make, and what inspires me to keep this duality theme. I don't want to get too far into details because it was a long time ago and we're totally way past that now, but I do want to share it with you guys because I feel like everyone should know that everybody has a starting point and everybody has different stories and versions and journeys in life. I didn't grow up the happiest person ever. I wasn't always positive. I wasn't always happy. I wasn't always this like silver lining person forever. I wasn't. Ask anybody that truly knows me. I wasn't. But I had to do a lot of work on myself to figure out where to find my passion again and where to find like my heart and my joy and my soul all over again. And while some people kind of do this in their 20s, I didn't do this until I was in my 30s. So I can't stress to you guys more that it's never too late. And also, like anybody that's younger, there's hope. There's always hope. Growing up with a name like London, which is in fact my real name, you do get, bullied a lot. You get made fun of. You get a lot of people that are envious also, but you mistake it as like, oh, they don't like me. And you start taking things very personally. And I think for a large portion of my life, I took a lot of things personally and had to really like deep dive to like really find the things that I did love about myself and know that I wasn't a horrible person and not to take these things personally. And it took a long time, but it also took a lot of work and deep diving to really discover that and find like what really makes me happy. I always used art as like an outlet or like some type of source of like a hobby, but it always made me happy. So since I was a little girl, I mean like probably 4 or 5 years old, I've always doodled, I've always drawn, I've always painted. Anytime I had free time in between sports and other activities like music and all my classes that I took, I would always find time to paint as a child and as a teenager and even well into my adulthood. And so during some of my darkest moments, I would come up with these crazy sketches and my friends would see my sketchbook and be like, oh my god, that's so cool, you should do art. And then when I was in college, I finally just switched and went to school for art. I switched from psychology to art while I was in school. After that, I had no idea what I was going to do with it. I ended up moving to an entirely different city where I knew nobody and nothing. I had only done retail and I taught math for like a summer at a charter school, and I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life except art, but I had no money. I had nothing. And so I just started taking more chances on new jobs and just really wanted to like increase my skills, and I wanted to learn sales because I wanted to be able to talk about my art, and I couldn't really talk confidently to certain strangers, especially when it came to business. So I like made myself learn all these skills so that I can use it all either in life or in art or whatever I decided to do. And it actually wasn't until 2020 that I finally like something just clicked. I did a lot of reading. I've read so many books and so many things on spirituality and self-help and like all of these things, and nothing was helping. Therapy, everything, like nothing. It was like I had this horrible mindset that I just couldn't shake out of me. And then finally one day during that year was like super dark. I didn't have a job. I was furloughed. I had to stretch $250 for 2 months. Imagine that. And I remember reading somewhere that you have to try and find the positive in every negative thing. So I started practicing this, find positive in all the negative. And I could give you like a long list of all the negatives, trust me, especially back then. And then someone left this beautiful earth forever. And I still tried to sit there and think like, how in the world do you find something positive in something so tragic? And it was not easy. I'm not going to lie to you about it. I'm not going to lie and say that moment was the easiest moment. I actually didn't talk to anybody for 2 weeks, completely shut off from the world, and then just really tried to find some type of silver lining in one of the saddest moments of my life. And the lesson that I ended up discovering in that moment was gratitude. Gratitude for having life. Gratitude for being able to take a breath. Gratitude for having 4 limbs that work and a brain that works. My vision is clear and my mind is here. Everything else is just a matter of how I choose to use all of these things that I have and that I'm so grateful for. And I really, really, truly looking back, see that moment was pivotal for my life. And I'm not perfect. I'm not some grandiose thing, but it shifted everything in my life. My life is completely different than what it was before. I am not even anywhere near the same person, same lifestyle, nothing. Everything is completely different. There are still things in my life that I have to fix and change and upgrade and all these other things from those moments, but I know I'm capable now. And it took this super dark thing happening to create such a beautiful moment in life, and I see so much more beauty in the world. Even in some of the darkest moments, I still find the beauty in them. And it took practice and like almost like exercise, like where you're building your muscle. It's like exercise but for your brain and how you're thinking. And this is what I did. And from that moment on, I switched careers. In due time, I started this art world. I started creating and filming and creating what I was filming. And then I had friends reach out to me like, hey, let me help you make a website. And it just kind of went on from there. And then it just kind of turned into events and, friends telling me, oh, you should totally do these events. And I was like, oh, maybe let's try it. And I didn't know how to do any of this. I just went up and asked people and hoped they answered. And if they did, great. And if they didn't, well, next person, hey, how do you do this? And no shame. So that's kind of where it went from there. But I really want to stress to you guys that, like, you can totally do this too. Like, if I can do it, you guys can do it too. And I want to encourage everybody to do these things because I think life is short and you only have this much time to get these things done. And there's a lot of life things that happen, children, families, work obligations, other things. Like, those are your commitments, those are your priorities, and you have to fit in your passions around these priorities that you have to do. And it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. But you find ways to do it if you want it badly enough. And I really truly think that if you want it badly enough, like, you'll find a way, or you'll figure out a way. And I just kind of will leave you guys with that, because I know a lot of people on these apps like look like they have a perfect life and they're always happy, but that's not reality. And that's okay though, because that's still part of my life. That's still a part of my journey. And it still happens sometimes. Yeah, sometimes I do get really angry. I get really sad, and I still have a plethora of emotions like any normal person. But I still do the things that I want to do, and I still do the things that I need to do, because I think that that's important in life. And my biggest thing is I don't want to be at the end of the road and say, oh, I shoulda, coulda, woulda done that. At least I freaking tried, man. At least I tried. So if that's all that happens, at least I tried. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. And I hope that if you're feeling sad today, I hope this gave you some hope. I hope this gave you something to look forward to. And I hope that there's some project that you're thinking about doing and you go do it, like, right now. And if you don't know how to do it, look it up. Go find a way to do it. Because no one's going to give you the right answer. Especially in this world, no one's going to give you the right answer. Only you know the right answer for you, and I really need you guys to know that. But if there's any wisdom that I could share with you guys, that's it. And hopefully, everything just keeps growing and going, and we can find the duality in all things, because in every light, there's a shadow. But also, you can't have light without darkness, and you can't have darkness without light. And it just kind of goes hand in hand. So if you could find that duality in your life, it's wonderful. I think it's great. I think everybody needs that balance. But anyway, if you relate to this, share it, like it, all the things. And don't forget to follow for more art and these moments, because they don't happen often. So, but when they do, here they are. Okay. Anyway, I hope you guys have a beautiful night and a beautiful day, beautiful week, and a beautiful life. Bye.